Here's my version of the perfect 5-course Valentine's Day dinner. Let's get started.
I'm starting off with making a half batch of my potato Hokkaido style rolls. These are so light and fluffy and I just love them. Once the rolls are done baking, I'll brush them with some clarified butter and finish with flaky salt. Next, for the salad, I made a smoked honey vinaigrette. This dressing had some Dijon mustard, shallot, champagne vinegar, and a blend of avocado and olive oil. I made some pickled pink lady apples for some extra acidity. I pickled these in a liquid that had some cardamom, cinnamon, and allspice. I coated the greens with the honey vinaigrette, then I finished it with toasted pistachios and a good amount of pecorino romano. This salad had the perfect balance of sweetness from the smoked honey dressing, acidity from the pickled apples, and some sharpness from the pecorino. Now for the pasta course, I started with making my dough with a combination of 00 flour and semolina. Then I added in my eggs. I use mostly egg yolks because I prefer a richer pasta dough. I kneaded that for about 20 minutes, then I'll let it rest for an hour. Here I have some Dungeness crab from Santa Barbara. I'm going to break that down and remove the meat. I'm keeping some larger pieces of the crab for the pasta sauce. For the filling, I'm mixing mascarpone, ricotta, shallot, Calabrian chili, some fresh herbs, and Meyer lemon zest. Then I folded in all of the crab meat. Now that my pasta dough is rested, I'll roll it out into a nice long sheet and pipe the Dungeness crab filling into it. I sealed the edges, then shaped my agnolotti. I'm channeling my grandfather who's from Italy, so it always feels so special to me when I make handmade pasta. For the sauce, I'm keeping it super simple with the Meyer lemon butter. For this, I just emulsified some butter with pasta water, then added in Meyer lemon zest. I tossed in some Dungeness crab meat, then folded in the cooked pasta. I finished the pasta with Meyer lemon juice and chives, and I wanted a little crunch on this dish, so I made these herby breadcrumbs. And this was easily one of the best pasta dishes I've ever made. Now for the main course, I'm going with braised lamb shanks. So I'll get those seasoned and I'm searing these off in some beef tallow. Then I caramelized some shallots and leeks. Next I went in with some carrots and let those cook out for a few minutes, then onion and garlic cloves. Then I cooked out some tomato paste, added my reduced Cabernet and port wine, and homemade chicken stock. I brought this to a simmer, then braised it in the oven for 4 hours. I removed the shanks, then strained and slightly reduced the sauce. I finished the sauce with a touch of blackberry balsamic vinegar to brighten it up. Honestly, I have no words for how good these lamb shanks were. I served the lamb with a risotto-style farro dish. So I started off with cooking some wild mushrooms, then some shallots, garlic, and thyme. I added in the farro and lightly toasted it, then some white wine, chicken stock, and a Parmesan rind. I'll cook this until I'm happy with the texture of the farro, then I folded the mushrooms back in, some cream and butter, and I finished it with some pecorino romano. Now for dessert, I love anything with pistachio, so I whisked together some eggs, sugar, and pistachio paste, then I tempered it with a vanilla bean infused cream. Next, I rolled out my tart dough that I made a little bit earlier, then formed it into my pans, and I blind baked these off. Then I added the pistachio custard and baked until it was set. I chilled these in the fridge for a few hours, then bruleed the top and garnished it with some toasted pistachio powder. And that is everything I made. If you're celebrating, I hope you have a wonderful and loving Valentine's Day.